So I'm standing in our entry hall, which to me kind of feels bougie and excessive because I've lived in such tiny spaces before. We had some back and forth quite a bit of figuring out what to paint in our entry hall. My husband thought of one of our trips to Tulum in Mexico and just remembered kind of these spaces that we saw that had this kind of lime washing color on the walls that just has texture and depth. And then when we went to find the lime wash, we found this beautiful kind of like biscuit sort of sandy kind of color. And it just felt kind of like a vacation home. So we have a lot of open shelving on the left here. It's kind of a Frankenstein unit of open shelving and some like an IKEA hack on the bottom that I made some cabinets out of so we could hide some shoes away in there. Painted kind of that Beetlejuice sort of stripes. It's a favorite place for displaying random objects that we've found. Our little crab collection, little tchotchkes, little mirror brooch that has a cat on it. Adorable. And I also have my grandma's still life painting here, which is a prized possession. Lots of books. Some I've got in Japan. This one has all these weird illustrations of people. It's got books that like my grandma gave me when I went to art school. There's a famous John Waters quote, if you go home with somebody and they don't have any books, do not sleep with them. So I think that's kind of an important rule of life. This archway is the first thing I see when I walk in the door. And it just kind of reminds me of all the hard work we put into place, and it leads into our cozy and comfortable living room and makes me want to just relax with my cat. This wall color, it's called Coral Bells, but I was basing it off of terracotta tiles. It was the first color I chose for the place. I knew I wanted something warm, something inviting, and something deep. We matched like the furniture around that color, and we kind of wanted this room to just feel all rust tones, all brown tones, with pops of black and white. It makes me feel like I'm surrounded by a big, warm, cozy hug. We added the mirrored archways when my realtor showed me this place. It was cold and boxy and like harsh lines, and I pictured it right away, thinking of kind of like those like Spanish like homes in LA, that kind of mood I wanted to create. It just helped separate the rooms. I don't have like a dining room and a kitchen right mixed up next to my sofa, which is what I love about this space. It's completely its own room. This was another marketplace find. I got it for $50, which is amazing. And I had already picked out the color of the wall, and the stone just matched perfectly. It was wildly heavy, and I needed a few friends to help me bring it over, and a courier, because it wouldn't fit in my car. But I love that it kind of is a center point of the room. These bows that are above the arches I found in Notting Hill Market in London. I like that they mirror and are above the two arches. It kind of adds that symmetry, which is kind of fun.
When we first got our property, our best friend was like, make me a pink room. And, you know, people say things to us and we just do them. And I think they don't really.
We just thought it was so absurd to do an entire room in pink.
We ended up taking out the closet that was in there, and we kind of filled it up to make a little bit of a reading nook. Any young child that comes through, they just love to crawl in there and like read and take a nap and stuff like that.
I might have taken a nap in there once or twice.
I feel like we kind of did it sort of for children. The other room, it's much more calm and peaceful.
We've spent so much time working out of hotels, and we kind of know the basics of what you need if you're on the road. So each room has a very simple thing to hang your clothes on. There's like a steamer in the room, it's a nice comfortable bed, but they're just very basic.
We just tried to put a few things in there for people to kind of like feel that they're, you know, cared for, but not too many things that it's like cluttered.
One of the things that I decided when I was wallpapering my foyer was, where do we stop and start? Because my hallway is so compact, it really wasn't much of a decision. We just wallpapered everything all the way up. I think When you enter a home, the hallway, the foyer, the vestibule, whatever you refer to it as, it sets the stage for welcoming your family, your guests. I chose this great wallpaper to have something that was impactful. I absolutely love the blue and the orange of the persimmons, and of course the monkeys add that little bit of whimsy, which I think is really important to have in a home. We're sitting here in my living room. This is the front room of the house. The whole point of my living room for me was a place that we could gather in the winter. I love the wood-burning fireplace, which is maintained from the original house. We have left all the walls up for my art collection. It adds soul to the room with period pieces and also with pieces that really cost no more than $10. The green drop glass pieces are two of my newest obsessions. I can't believe is made from discarded glass in a glass factory. I've added extra storage so that I can put in table linens for the proximity to the dining room. My newest piece that I've added to this room is the hutch with the secretary underneath from England. It has a patina on it that isn't perfect. Opening the secretary top to the desk and being able to make it into a bar, it allows guests to be part of the room and part of the conversation without having to leave. It also gives me the utility for another piece of furniture that I don't actually have room for, so my hutch gets to do double duty. I decided to paint the walls blue. I added some trim in order to add some texture, and we did what we call a color wash, where we paint from the bottom of the baseboard all the way through the walls, the casing, and the crown molding all the same color. My ceilings are only 8 feet tall, so this is a great hack to visually increase the height of your ceilings. I added a little bit of fun by adding wallpaper to the ceiling. The blue on my walls is a good, strong blue. I wanted to make sure that the ceiling was equally as impactful, so the hot pink needed to be hot. I'd like to have a surprise or a whimsical feature. I like to push the envelope just a little bit. My favorite room really is the family room. I painted it dill. It is pickle green. We live in this room. We absolutely love it. And being here with my family really gives me the essence of being home. And it truly is the room I gravitate to at the end of a busy day. It's also the room I start my day off. I actually sit in this chair every morning and watch the sunrise. And it's one of my favorite spaces to be in. I love green in houses. Green gives energy, it always feels fresh, it feels timeless, it's a great color to use. As an exterior room, this room can get chilly, so I added the fireplace in order to accommodate heating, but also to create more of a cozy atmosphere. Then the layered rug on top gives us that cozy, conversational area feeling as well. I think when people look at small rooms, they think small furniture. And unfortunately, the opposite is actually true. In a small room, if you do larger pieces of furniture, for instance, the sofa in my family room is quite large, it actually frees up space and makes things look a little more airy.
So this is the barreled archway between the entryway and the kitchen. It's kind of a fun little architectural moment that I kind of wanted to include to kind of just make it feel grand and important. I used the color of the lime wash of the hallway, and I decided to like stripe it with the color of the kitchen, just to kind of make a transition place from the entryway into the kitchen. We also installed a brass mirror that's in the shape of an arch opposite the tunnel, so it's a perfect like place to kind of check out your outfit, but it does this like weird extended mirror vibe with the striping. It feels like it's repetitive in a room that just goes on forever, so it kind of adds a really fun little surreal moment. We are in the kitchen of the condo. I leaned into paint really hard, as I did elsewhere in the house, I took inspiration from the travertine dining table I have to like pick color tones for the walls, for the green pistachio cupboards, for the kind of like light creamy ceiling. All the curves kind of mirror each other and connect throughout the house. There's a little bit of an 80s vibe with the curves of the handles and the curves of the dining chairs, but it all kind of brings it together. I designed kind of around banquette seating, which was one of the things I knew I wanted to have in this space. It's a tight corner. Trying to get chairs in and out around a dining table kind of didn't really make sense. It's really cozy and you kind of like jump over each other to get out, but it's fun and it's a good way to have a dinner party. This border wasn't originally in here. I just wanted to accentuate that bulkhead. I originally wanted to get rid of the bulkhead completely, but I couldn't because of technical issues. So I got inspired by a pillow I have that is black and ochre checker, and just hand painted it myself. Borders kind of remind me of the 90s and my mom and the wallpaper she used to have, but this is sort of an updated version that just adds some pattern to the space. One of the most important details of our home is Terrence's own door, his own little archway to his bathroom area, which is the laundry room and utility room. But he has a special spot of his own, and there's even a little ivory lion head mask above the doorway. So we were in the primary suite of our condo. It's the only bedroom. It's definitely the quietest place in our home, the least decor. It is drenched in a powder blue called French toile. We used kind of a process called color-drenching, where ceiling, wall, door frame, everything is the same color. It just creates kind of like a softer, more minimalist palette to then add what you need on top of it. The cabinetry that we installed, I lost the warranty when I painted it, but it was worth it to have like one room full of all one color. And then basically I took that color and found bedding, I found some velvet to make a custom headboard, I found some sconces that are similar, and just kind of brought it all together and matched. And it's just kind of all one tone, but you might find a little pop or two here. Like there's a one frame with a red trim. There's like a unexpected red theory where a little pop of red works in every room, and it kind of does. One way to add a little bit more depth to color drenching rather than just a flat color of paint is to add the velvets, the linens, the rugs, the upholstery on your furniture, just to add texture and depth. I love this light fixture. We had it in our last space. It was above our dining table. It's kind of Noguchi kind of inspired. It's got that paper lantern feel to give a nice warm glow to the room. It's kind of like a soft floating cloud in a sea of blue sky. I don't think a lot of people would put a curtain as a door for a bedroom, but it kind of works even better than a barn door. It muffles sound rather than just kind of like bouncing it or whatever. And it just creates a beautiful, soft, kind of like visual feeling between the two rooms.